Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by today. Yes, it's Sunday, and I get a chance to visit with you and tell you the latest. So, welcome, welcome. And, of course, welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Now, whether you just found us as you scrolled through or felt led to discover something great, you found us and thereby discovering the magic of you. Yeah, it's all about magic and miracles because they work. They really, really do. And here at the Advancement Center, we acknowledge the importance of celebrating. And today is a day of celebration. Celebration of Gloria Novak, a very dear friend. And we are wishing her all the best upon her 91st birthday today. Gloria is the senior to my freshman, and I trail her. And it's very comforting to know that she's just ahead of me. And here's to a long, happy, and fruitful, and healthy life for you, Gloria, and for us all. Happy birthday, Gloria. Yeah, I only have water, but I raise my glass to you. It's so much fun to honor, celebrate, and discover wonderful things about dear friends. And we have a dear friend, and I am celebrating her because of what she is, what she does, and who she is. And this is Mickey Sever. The Advancement Center has a wealth, a treasure, and much of it has been lost in the annals of YouTubeness. And Mickey took it upon herself to relocate and represent wonderful, wonderful broadcasts by Robert and by Simeon over the years that I was so sad that perhaps we had lost. And before I say another word, I'm going to tell you how to find them. Just because. You go to YouTube and you click on subscription and you go down the list and you click on Robert Young. And I did that the other day and I found a treasure of broadcasts that I thought we had lost. And these broadcasts are of Robert addressing a room full of people at the Open Secret bookstore in San Rafael in Northern California. Each one can change your life for the better. Each one is so exciting and fulfilling. You could feel the energies in the room just heighten and broadcast out the joy of what they were receiving. And Robert is there for you. And you can tune in anytime you want, as I have and will do in the future. So thank you again, Mickey, for not allowing those gems to be lost. That was very important. Now, your finding us is fantastic timing today. In fact, it's exquisite because we are celebrating a new flow. And that comes with a higher vibration. A higher vibration than ever before. Now, the formal advent of the Advancement Center dates back to 2014, when Robert Young and his twin brother, Simeon, who dwells in another realm, there's the magic, shared the video. And they spoke about 3 times a week? It was amazing. And then we welcomed David Best, Genya Novak, yes, Gloria's daughter, and straight from Scotland to wed our Kathleen, Adrian Ertz. Each and every one arrived at a meeting point, having lived, experienced, and become who we call a friend today. Each has a story, you too, by the way. And my memoir has never been captured on paper, but lives as I tell the story to you directly. Last week, I spoke of the miracle of Ibiza, and today I pick up the story when I found myself hired as a recreational therapist at Kingsborough Psychiatric Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. And might I add, an hour and a half commute during rush hour from my home in Roslyn, Long Island. Wow. I look back and I said, how did I do that? I can't even conceive of doing that now. At any rate, this was a geriatric division, and every person was bedridden because it was easier. I think I mentioned yesterday that they had a guy, Jules, I remember him, and he ran around with a whistle around his neck and a basketball and said hello to people in the beds and was cheery and did nothing and didn't last very long. So I'm just going to have to look a little bit here. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. And then last week I mentioned that in 3.5 years of my being present there, every person was up, dressed, had breakfast, and was in an activity by 9 o'clock. That was a miracle. And it happened. And now, as I look back, I recognized the fervency that I felt for these beautiful people having met an unfortunate last act of their life in a place not of their choosing. I guess that just lit a fire in me because I felt love for these people. And the love was not in the form of pity or feeling sad, but just getting to work to wake them up again, to enjoy whatever life was possible. I found strength, fortitude, endless love, and energy that amazed me. But it was my opportunity to be who I felt I was. How many of us have that opportunity to be stretched so thin to discover all the magic and miracles that you're walking around with right now? And I had that opportunity and I used it to the hilt. And that's my joy to share with you today. But I also have to let you know there were angels helping me along the way because they had heartfelt feelings and they put it into their workday. And I'll just go back to Creedmoor for a minute and mention Mark Stebbins. And he had to talk the powers that be to give him an empty warehouse of a building so he could set up SRL, Stress Relief Learning. And that's where he took all the incorrigible teenage boys that I had a chance to work with and grew to love. So that was Mark. My new angel, when I got to where was I? Brooklyn, Kingsborough, was Ivan Sidrell. And he was stationed in Manhattan Psychiatric Center. And he ran a program that he welcomed and invited me in so I could see what he was doing and take it back to Kingsborough. And it was called Sensory Awareness Training. You don't get more basic than that. He taught people how to exercise every muscle. Yeah, to move again, to sit, to stand, to turn around, to feel. And then when the sensory came, he would pass around a bag of, you never knew what was in it, but you could recognize that's popcorn. Or you could recognize something sweet. At any rate, he was waking everybody up. It was beautiful. He was kind, deliberate, and loving, and thrilled that I was interested in learning from him. And we remained friends for years. And I took all of that back to Kingsborough. So that's the program that everyone was present for. Everyone in this geriatric ward got up out of bed and started to live and feel again. I get excited just telling you that. Well, that was just the beginning, because I taught all the staff the sensory awareness training so that they were running programs and groups. And every time they spoke to a patient, it was with respect, with love and caring. I changed the whole weather system in that place. And that place was a rough place. I found, never mind. I was going to tell you how I went out and found my tires flat many times because I was an intruder to the sleepy hospital it had become. I don't know about the hospital, but at least the geriatric ward. So that was a big undertaking. And then with sensory awareness, as I taught it, I would, what was it? Oh, this is the sense of touch. So I would give, and you always allow for the other to choose. I wasn't there to foist anything. Their whole lives they've been foisted upon. And I would give them the choice. They could either have a handshake or a hug. It took a little while, but at the end, a lot of people were requesting hugs. Amazing. And so we had a lot of other programs. There's so much, I don't even know where to start. But I think one of the most exciting things that I was able to accomplish was I changed the charting, the entire charting system of this division. Because I looked at each person's chart and all I could see were the deficiencies. I said, so what are their assets? What are they able to do? What am I building on? Come on, give me their abilities. How far did they go in school? What do you know about them? And you know what? They changed the charts. I was such a something, I don't know, an explorer, a pain in the neck, or I ruffled a lot of feathers. And then we did more things. because you just can't do sensory awareness all day. So we did art projects. Like the day I taught everyone how to tie-dye. And what did we all tie-dye? They're pillowcases. I changed wards. Every ward became a colorful Technicolor bedroom where people had made tie-dyed pillowcases, and we dried them, and it was beautiful, and they were so proud. The next thing I did was everyone had received a little plant that was on their windowsill, and they could take care of it and watch it grow and water it and be proud of the growth. I mean, I wrote down all these things. I can't even remember half of them. And not only that, but I never took any one of those wonderful people for granted. And I started with the women. Now, these are all geriatric, so-called women. And I said, where did they come from? What have they done in the past? Have they birthed babies? Have they been mothers? Have they cooked meals for their family? Do they know how? Of course they have. They met up with some craziness where they were misunderstood, and they found themselves here. I even spoke to one little lady who said, I was always such a good girl. Why am I here? I couldn't answer her. But at any rate, I started a little workshop. And believe it or not, I gave every woman a paring knife and something to cut. And they were magical. They were wonderful. I had them cooking meals, making salads, serving each other. I had a blast. Everything I did, they just zooped up and took it upon themselves. And the other thing that was happening over there, I mean, I think I really came into my own because I had the opportunity to express my love for people who perhaps don't receive it anywhere else. And another thing I remember is socializing, interacting. So I started a drop-in center. Now, I was trying to normalize the sterile conditions that I found there. So every Monday in Roslyn, which is a very wealthy area, and if I found something on the curb for pickup, I put it in my car and took it with me. And little by little, I set up a living room atmosphere and magazines and everything that could be normal. And they would drop in. And old talents began to emerge. Oh my goodness, I don't know what else I can say. Everything happened. And of course, the big thing was staff education. Here are people that just used to sit, chew gum, talk on the telephone, and do nothing. And I remember importing an exercise to reveal important facts of growing older to this young staff. So we had emulation exercises. What happens to you when you become hard of hearing? And they all responded. You either start yelling so people can hear you and you can hear yourself, or you cave in and don't speak. What happens when you put spectacles on a staff member and it has dangling retinas? All of a sudden, they walk like a geriatric and hold on to the rail because they can't see. At any rate, what this did was sensitize the staff to the lives of the people they are completely responsible to and for. So that had a huge difference. And I could go on, but let me tell you, this was the making and the developing and the expressing the love I have for humanity, which of course led me to this moment, speaking to you at the Advancement Center. It also led me all the way over to Australia to find Robert, my true love. And together we came back to Santa Barbara, and the Advancement Center had its beginning and its never-ending growth, expansion, and welcome to all of you. So, adversity equals challenge, which leads to remarkable outcome. My goodness. And I didn't even tell you the story of Isaac yet, but I will next Sunday. Because right now it's time to show the latest art that happened in Mandar's art class. It's busy. Can you find the mother and son? They're there on the path. The time slid by, but my total loving being with you today is exponential and will just keep growing. And now I wish you a perfect life with perfect health and a future that's filled to the brim with joy and good health and everything wonderful. I love you. See you next week. I am Barbara.